You are listening to Stages Podcast with Mary Lee Fairbanks and Stephanie J. Block. Welcome to Season 6. Here on Stages Podcast, we go behind the scenes and beyond the resume to explore the crossroads of creativity, spirituality, motherhood, and so much more. Please like and subscribe on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, all the places. Give us 5 stars and a great review. It really helps us grow. Thanks for joining Stages Podcast, Season 6.
Yeah. No, I know. This is not normal. So we're in San Fran, so it's really early here.
Yeah,
We had 2 shows yesterday. We got on early and it wasn't working up to about, I don't know, 2 seconds before you got on. So it was, my hair was like out to here. We were running around like crazy people. But here we are. And go ahead, man.
You need a sip of coffee and a deep breath, my sister, okay?
Oh,
Okay. So we don't have any other mishaps.
oh gosh.
It has been a morning.
Sorry.
Are you on me or are you on?
I don't know. I'm still checking here. I might still be on you. I'm on Sebastian's hotspot. Okay, wonderful.
Oh, heavens.
Yeah.
Hi, Nikki.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Thank you so
You're
much
good.
for taking the time and coming and hanging out with us.
Of course. My pleasure.
And we're off.
Today, we're talking to an amazing actress. I recently got to watch her perform the role of Sarah in the Boston Symphony Orchestra Ragtime Concert. She also performed the same role with the Cincinnati Pops, and Broadway World reviewer Taylor Clemens put it best when they said, quote, Nikki Renée Daniels' Sarah is brilliant. She's giving a master class in acting performance. And they got that right for sure. She starred as Angelica in the Chicago Company of Hamilton and Jenny in the Tony Award-winning Broadway revival of Company. She understudied and performed the role of Bobbie in that company as well, and I really wish I could have seen that. But she's also been in 10 other Broadway shows. Okay, ready? Book of Mormon.
I want to see the Book of Mormon. I don't know what that might be.
I would like to see it as well.
I definitely want to see it. Yeah.
Okay, good. Book of Mormon, Porgy and Bess, Aida, Little Shop of Horrors, 9, The Look of Love, Les Miserables, Anything Goes, Promises, and Lestat. She played Martha Jefferson in 1776 at Encores and Rose in The Secret Garden at David Geffen Hall. And her debut CD, Home, is out right now. She is a dedicated mama, a consummate professional, and the personification of graciousness. Please welcome Nikki Renée Daniels.
Yay!
Thank you for having me.
Oh my
gosh. You have a lot of life, lady. A lot of life.
Yeah.
And yet it looks, from the outside looking in, it looks like the cover of a romance novel with how gorgeous you are, how
Effortless.
beautiful your children are, your marriage. I mean, we all know, day in and day out that it's always messing. It's not always easy. It's a lot of moving parts and a lot of people to support your life. But you have been in this industry for quite a long time, and the different stages and chapters. So this could take the entire hour, but can you speak a little bit about, being a single woman and being in this industry, and then adding on a husband and a partner, and then adding on children, and what that kind of looked like, or maybe lessons that you learned along the way to make it all function as you do?
Yeah, I mean, I still can't believe it was funny being in Cincinnati doing ragtime, because I went to college in Cincinnati and a lot of the students were in our production.
Oh, that's great.
And I was like, this is half my life ago that I was one of these kids,
Yeah.
Now here I am, and it all seems like it's gone so fast, of course, but to hear you spout off my resume and everything, I realize it's been quite a journey, as you said. When you move to the city, brand new, straight out of college, you've got, laser focus, at least I did, because I majored in musical theater and I had seen the people ahead of me and what they were doing. And so I had sort of a path a little bit that I could see and say, oh, I could be that, I could do that, I could do this career path. And so to start off as a single person, it's you can be just singularly focused on what you're doing, on yourself, on your sleep, on your on your auditions, being as prepared as you can be and all that. And then you add in a husband and you own property and your goals become slightly different, less about becoming a star, more about like, how can I save for retirement and like just be a working actor and get my health insurance and all that sort of thing. And then when you have kids, it's just a whole other thing, as you well know, because it's really not about you anymore, especially in a business that can be so self-centered and self-focused. You just have to fit it in almost amongst all the other stuff that takes precedence. And in a lot of ways, I feel like it made me a better actor, a better performer when I wasn't so singularly focused on it, because, you just have perspective, I guess.
Yeah.
Which is not to say that there's not a meaningful life unless you have children and a family. But when you do have children, they have to be your main focus. I mean,
I remember thinking when I had my son, I went to a couple of auditions and I remember thinking, I used to get so, nervous and afraid when I would go in. And then once you have a kid, you kind of know what real fear is. And you go, well, this isn't scary. I mean, yeah, it's a little nerve wracking, but this is not real things to be afraid of, and it just does. It shifts your perspective.
It's almost a respite.
Very much.
You go, I get to sing for 3 minutes at this audition and talk to, adult human beings that understand creativity and art. When I'll tell you, in the course of my day,
coloring in the room today. Did you guys have coloring books?
In the course of my day, those 3 hours at the theater are really the most predictable, are the most, even though lots of things, as we know, in live theater can go wrong or not as you planned, somehow you're like, oh, I understand this rhythm. Oh, yep, good. They think I'm good. They're clapping. Great. I got that right. And in life, you're like, I'm not sure if I'm doing this right. I'm not sure if the kid got it. What the hell's happening now? So that sort of scripted, unscripted experience of those 3 hours in the theater, it is a breath. It really is.
Yeah. A solo subway ride where you can play Candy Crush or listen to the music you want to listen to, or, just that 20 minutes from home to the theater is like, feels like some sort of break, and it's, in a lot of ways, when you have a young child, it's I don't know how we keep the energy of having with being with a baby all day and then leaving to go to the theater. But somehow when you get in front of the dressing room lights, something, that second wind just kicks in and you do, like you said, what you know how to do. And it's like a nice little break, a nice way of remembering who you were before you had kids. I remember the most stressful time when I was in the Book of Mormon was when we were potty training my older daughter. I had so much anxiety in my chest just from is it too soon? Are we forcing her to do this? I was so much tension. That was the hardest week I had at the Book of Mormon was being
I bet.
Doing, that first stage of potty training,
Oh, and now she's in 4th grade?
Yeah. Just about to finish 4th grade. She just turned 10.
Wow. That's wild.
Is she the one that's a violin?
It's a violin.
Yeah. Wow.
She just did her first show and a Facebook memory came up for me that right before I had her, Jeff took me to see Matilda on Broadway and she just played Matilda in Matilda.
Oh, wow.
Last weekend, it was 10 years later, this baby that was about to be born was now a 10-year-old capable of carrying a children's theater production,
and before you know it, she's going to be 16 and driving around, and you're not going to ever see her anymore. No, it's the
but you're not supposed to say that to people. Do you understand?
No, you should know. All right, let me tell you.
Mary Lee.
So my son was like, "Mom, I want a tattoo. I want a tattoo." And I said, "Wait till you're 18. When you're 18, I'll get one with you." And that seemed so far away when he was 16. And now, Nikki, I have a tattoo. So So before you know it, you're going to be getting tattoos and wondering where the hell they are because they're never home.
Oh, man.
It's so strange to get to 10 because you realize in the amount of time, which seems so fast from birth to 10, she's 20 years old and, maybe or whatever she decides to do, she's going to be an adult.
Halfway to her being out the door. Yeah.
You use the word capable when you were describing her. And that sounds so right. Because when I saw her play, her musical capabilities, if that is mirroring who she is just as a student, as a daughter, as a young being walking through life, she's very capable. Did you always notice that in her?
Yeah, I mean, yes, she's always been very self-reliant. Even when she was a little baby, she didn't like being cuddled, and she walked at like 11 months, and she's always been very determined in her way. And my younger daughter as well. She came out of the womb a grown woman, I think. My older daughter at least like emotionally needs nurturing, but my younger daughter, I swear she could go out and like get a job right now and we're just along for the ride with her. Maybe that comes with being a second child. They tend to pick things up a little quicker. But yeah, I mean, I'm amazed at what they can do. They go to a school for musically gifted kids called the Special Music School.
Wow.
The public school in New York City. It's like an only in New York thing. And they get lessons twice a week in their instruments, and all the kids they're constantly doing performances and stuff at school. And
are they both playing violin or
my younger daughter plays the flute?
Flute. Okay.
Yeah. Which I actually used to play when I was younger. And she's probably soon going to surpass my skills, but it's kind of neat to relearn it with her and practice with her and stuff. But yeah, they're pretty amazing. They amaze me every day.
Well, soon you'll have first chairs in the both of them, and you all can go on the road together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that'd be great.
Have you guys ever toured together? Because I know your husband is a very well-respected actor. Have you two gone on the road together?
We have not. I did Hamilton in Chicago. I think I saw you there when I was in Chicago.
Yeah.
And I was flying back and forth to New York because he was doing Tootsie at the time. So I was every Sunday I would finish my matinee and head straight to the airport and be on a 7:00 flight, head back to New York and fly back to Chicago at noon on Tuesday. And I did that like 35 times over the course of the year. And then they stayed with me for the summer, and my husband flew back and forth to Chicago from New York. So that was the closest we came to doing a sort of tour life schedule. But when I saw that you and Sebastian were going on tour with Into the Woods, I thought, oh, how are they going to do it? Do you have a tutor with you? Are you homeschooling or like?
We have a nanny and we are homeschooling. And it has been a beautiful challenge, a challenge beyond which I didn't understand. We as mamas, we pride ourselves on having all of the moving parts under some sort of understanding and control. There's just no way. There's so many variables that you can't control. And so when we went out on the road, just before I looked at Vivi, she was 8 at the time, and I said, my love, this is what's going on. What I need from you is a sense of adventure, and I need resilience, and we're going to work as a team, and a lot of communication. And the whole time I should have been saying that to myself and for myself, because, I thought I had this thing under control. No. The horses are running wild. It is just. So we are in our final 2 cities. Luckily now she only has 1 week left of homeschool for us, and she will have completed 2nd grade, and then we can just do the summer schedule. But yes, between show and travel and homeschool and out practical learning, I am torn up.
I can only imagine, because during the pandemic, we did all the homeschooling sort of where the teachers gave us work, but we were helping, and that was without any nighttime place to go and do a show. So I can imagine trying to do that and perform 8 shows a week.
I'm not even going to pretend. Listeners, I'm still in my pajamas. Poor Nikki is looking at me with like, no, well, some makeup left over from last night. I am a wreck. Usually we do these interviews when I don't have two shows the day before. And on the road, most Wednesdays, it's not the case. We have a 5-show weekend and Wednesday's 1 show. Surprise, surprise. Yesterday was a 2-show day. Tired.
Poor Steph.
But
my
grateful.
poor Stephanie.
Grateful.
Yeah.
To know, tell me one of your most joyful memories from when your children were really small, and tell me one of the biggest challenges that surprised you, aside from having to travel back and forth, which is a huge challenge, but
That's
something
huge.
a challenge that surprised you. I mean, for me, it was, I did almost everything I said I'd never do. I will never do that when I'm a mother. Oh, I did all of it, almost all of it.
All
So
of it.
what? Yeah. So tell me, like, one of your most joyful memories that just took you by surprise when you first became a mom.
Oh gosh. I mean, I feel like everything is just watching this being learn everything. You know, like you take for granted so many things that you know how to do, talking and walking and even picking things up with your hand or rolling over. And so I remember the first time Lena rolled over, my older daughter, was such an amazing moment. And we got it on video. It was Thanksgiving Day. And she actually was a little bit late, I guess, rolling over compared to other babies. And so, which is surprising because she's so athletic now. But, you know, she was maybe 4 months, 5 months old. She would have been, yeah, like 5 months old. And she rolled over and I screamed so loud that she like, and her legs were like moving, like, what's happening? What's happening? And I was like, no, I'm so happy. And so that probably is like, you know, that's one of my favorite memories. And it's, someone would say it's just a baby rolling over, but you know, you
but it's everything.
All that time with like the little toy just out of reach, trying to get them to roll, you know. And so I don't know, it gave me just so much joy when she did it. Or like my younger daughter walking, she was a bit late on the walking side. My older daughter walked when she was 11 months, and my younger daughter walked at like 16 months. Mm-hmm. Like she was content to be carried everywhere, and she's still. But yeah, the first time she like stood up and like took those steps, oh, it was just so good. You know, it's just the best. Like you'll never forget.
Yeah, it's such a gift. Such a gift.
Yeah.
What about you, Steph? Do you have one? A memory that like really just took you by surprise as a mom, like when you first were shocked, like at this little human?
I didn't think I would be. I will say this. When I was pregnant, my sister always would say, oh, my sister has 5 children. You're just going to feel like such a vessel, like such a life-giving, you know, Mother Earth. Everything falls into place when you're pregnant. Okay, that did not happen to me. I was just like, okay, I know what I'm doing is important. I am making a human being in my body. I don't even know how to explain how I'm feeling, but I know that I'm not the peaceful Earth Mother life vessel that my sister was trying to explain. But then I gave birth and I could stare at her for hours and hours and hours. And one thing that still Vivi does, and I hope she holds it for the rest of her life, is right before she smiles, her eyes will twinkle and smile first. And then her face makes a shape that we know as a smile. But I, as a mom, can tell just instantaneously, oh, she's going to smile because her eyes tell me first. And that's something that, you know, how you can't plan for that sort of mother-daughter understanding. Yeah. And I really do hope that's something she holds and the world doesn't kind of squeeze out of her. Yeah, that little telltale.
I remember Seb was little. So, I mean, he was breastfeeding. So he didn't have teeth. So, I mean, that's pretty young, right? And I remember I used to have I would wear this sort of nightgown around the house, and I would plop him like in the cradle of the nightgown. I put my leg up on the desk if I was watching TV, and I would breastfeed him while I was just like chilling out and watching TV. And I could feel him staring at me. So I looked down at him, and when I looked down, he just moved his eyes off to the side, like not looking at me. And I thought, oh, that's so funny. So I went back to the TV and I felt him staring at me again. So I looked back down, and then he turned his eyes again. I was like, oh my gosh, is he playing a game with me? So then I looked back at the TV, and real quick, I looked down really quick and caught him, and he laughed, and the smile and all the milk came pouring out of his mouth. I remember, I felt like my heart burst, and I screamed for my husband. I'm like, he has
He's
a sense
playing.
of humor. He is being
Yes,
funny.
yes.
And he was so little, like he didn't even have teeth. And I just remember that moment was so shocking to me that he could understand a joke, at that age, and at that moment, he just became like this little funny human to me. And I that was it. I was like in love with being a mom at that moment.
You know, talking about life like this, it does, not to align it with company, but those relationships and the understanding of the human connection and all that was really important. And you playing Jenny was one thing, but you making history as the first Black actor to play Bobbie is a whole other thing. So I want to talk about, okay, so there's Jenny. She's in an interracial marriage, which is what you have in your real life. So there's an understanding there, and probably something that spoke to you really personally. I mean, I can't put that on you. I'm taking liberties in saying that, but it must have resonated with you, right? And then there's Bobbie, who is kind of floating around, not knowing where her place is and whether it's time to be married or where she wants to be in this ecosphere of life. Was that a challenge for you? Because knowing that you are such a loving and have beautiful partnership and children, to kind of disassociate yourself from that. We as actors always do it, but to disassociate and say, okay, now I'm playing this person that is completely different from what you're living now.
Yeah. I mean, well, first of all, doing company, Marianne Elliott, I just have to say, is such a brilliant director. If you get a chance, she is just the best. I learned so much working with her. And as far as playing Jenny goes, Chris Fitz and I didn't really discuss the whole interracial marriage aspect of it. Actually, in the first pre-pandemic run, we did 9 previews before everything shut down in 2020. Yeah. But actually, when we came back, we did discuss how we fit as an interracial couple, and also with Bobbie as part of the equation in our scene. If people don't know the show, it was sort of like a weird energy of, is my husband flirting with her? You know, Black woman sort of on the outs of that whole situation. So we really dug into that the second time around. And it was a whole rehearsal process again. And we were all different people, after the pandemic. Some of us, I lost mom, we were just all different in so many ways. And so we really went back to the beginning and almost started over. So that was something that we definitely discussed. And I can relate to Jenny super easily, as you said, as a working mom and trying to manage all of those things and friendships and husband and all that. So that was, as you said, pretty easy for me to jump into that character. Now, as far as Bobbie goes, I think that was sort of easy for me too, because I always say if I hadn't met my husband, I think I would probably still be single. I just, he is a really special person, and I think perfect for me. I was pretty content being single, and I wasn't gonna settle just to get married just because that's what society expects or whatever. So I could kind of relate to being Bobbie and being this sort of career first, not wanting to settle down or settle for anything, especially when you see the married friendships that she's exposed to. A lot of the scenes, you're like, well, what about this would make her say, yes, I should get married and be a part of this, So right. I think that, and, I could see a lot of my married couple friends, once you have kids, you have all of your parent friends.
Yeah, for sure.
I could see a lot of these couples in a lot of the parent friends that I have, so I think jumping into the role of Bobbie, it wasn't that big of a challenge, because I could totally relate to her as a person, at least as I played her. And as far as the history making thing goes, I mean, I was really surprised at what a big deal it became, just because I was like you said, a working mom, like trying to get to understudy rehearsal and get to everything with my kids that I could get to while doing those rehearsals and an 8-show week. And, you know, so it was just more like putting one foot in front of the other and learning
right
part, which was huge. And the biggest part I ever even played on Broadway, you know, she rarely leads stage. So for me, it was more just technically about like learning it. And so when I actually finally got to go on, because I think it was like 6 months into the run before I even went on. And so I wasn't taking it on myself to be like, and now I will give you the first African-American Bobbie. It was more like, okay, it's a Wednesday matinee. I just dropped my kids off from school. I'm getting out of the train and I get a call. Let's do this. You know, I've been on this for 6 months. Let's go. And so then it was almost like after or as it was happening, I sort of realized the weight of the moment and the importance of the moment. I'm sort of grateful that I didn't really think about it leading up to it, because it was actually Jen Samard who said to me, "You're going to make history today." And like, I truly had not thought about it. I was more thinking about it from a technical actor doing their job standpoint. And the audience that day, so many people came out, so many people, like when Bobbie's first entrance in the show, she comes through a door and closes the door and stands against it. And like, it was just like screams of support, waves of love coming my way. And someone said, "All right, Queen." Like once all of the hubbub died down, and then clear, "All right, Queen." And so I feel like in that moment, I was kind of like, oh, okay, like this is, I'm doing this. This is happening. So then I kind of like realized what a moment it was, and especially after the show, seeing so many young Black women at the stage door, just being like, I had to drop everything. I had to see this. Like, I've never seen a Black person leading a Sondheim show on Broadway. You know, they hadn't. Maybe there has been in the past, I can't think, but they dropped everything because they wanted to see me and feel that representation.
Yeah.
Also, as the week went on, it was a COVID domino week. Like more and more understudies kept coming in. And by the end of the week, most of the understudies are people of color. So by the end of the week, like it was like me and Patti LuPone and my 3 Black girlfriends, you know, in the scene, you know, like Bobbie went to Howard, you know, it was just like, we were all there. We were just like, you know, so many shows, Sondheim shows, I couldn't even get an audition for, you know, like A Little Night Music, that revival that happened, I couldn't even get seen, or like the Sunday in the Park with Georgia that happened that my husband was in, I couldn't get seen. So it was like to be doing this show with those women, and I think we all did a great job and showed that we're capable and that there should be no reason why Sondheim shouldn't be open to every race, color, everything.
Yeah.
It was just, by the end of the week, I was really proud of what it accomplished.
Beautiful. That is so beautiful.
I know that growing up, Audra McDonald was one of your heroes. She was one of your idols, and now I know you're really good friends. So how did that meeting happen? And that must have been amazing, you know?
Yeah, I actually first met Audra when I was in college. I went to see Marie Christine. I'd gone to see Ragtime a couple of times and missed her, but a friend of mine, I'd done summer stock somewhere, and someone was on the stage management team, so they got me backstage to meet her after Marie Christine, and I got to take a picture with her, and it went up on the wall, you know, when I was in college. I mean, when I was in high school and I got the Carousel recording, she was like the only Black soprano that I had seen, like in that current time. You know, she was my North Star. It was like, if she's like paved the way for people like me, I feel like. And now for, you know, a Black Christine in Phantom of the Opera and a Black Glinda in Wicked. And those things weren't even possible when I first moved to the city. Like I remember trying to get an appointment for Glinda, and they were like, there'll never be a Black Glinda. And they looked at it like it was, of course, like not a big deal. That's just the way it is. And so to now see it coming to fruition, it's just amazing, which is part of why going on in Company was so special, and getting to see those girls come and to know that they're going to carry the flag forward. Because when I was coming up, I feel like Audra was one of the only examples, maybe Carolyn Blackwell, but she was more of an opera singer. You know, she only did I think, Candide on Broadway, but Audra was my example. She still is, you know, she's the best of the best. And so to get to do Porgy and Bess with her was just, I'm getting a chill, like just thinking about it, just getting to watch her do a rehearsal process and to understand what an amazing actress she is and performer and singer, and to watch her 8 shows a week. Her Wednesday matinee performance is just as full as her opening night performance, you know, like she's a force. And so I feel so lucky to have gotten to work with her and to now call her a friend. And so to get to do Ragtime, which I got to do once right when I was fresh out of college, but to get to do it again, especially now as a mom, a whole other thing.
Oh yeah.
Just, you know, when I was preparing to do it, listening to her again and just remembering how I felt, you know, going into college with the concept album of Ragtime, listening to her, and to now get to step into that part again was really cool.
Yeah, and you're wonderful in it. Gosh, you're such an amazing Sarah.
Thank you.
Yeah, she's just out there and just cries, but doesn't affect her voice at all. Like, not at all. The tears stream down, but the voice is still absolutely perfect. It's really irritating. Really irritating.
I actually don't read reviews, so when you read that review, I was like, oh.
But it was a good one.
It was a good one.
That's worth hearing.
I do find that I'm more emotional now that I'm a mama. I am far more emotional, even on stage. Like it's just a conduit to allow your emotions to come out. I think to be, not that we should ever hide how we're feeling from our kids, but sometimes when you're at the front of the train or you're driving the bus, you've got to keep this sort of level and even day, you know, to lovingly protect your children from all the chaotic stuff that's going around. And so when you have that platform to be like, oh, I'm tapping into all of the things that affected me through the day, I do find that I'm probably much more emotional on stage than I ever was before. And it seems healthy to me, as long as we're not derailing the story or, you know, doing a disservice to our fellow actors. Why not? James Lapine would disagree. He hates it when an actor cries on stage. He's like,
really?
He's like, you've got to let the audience feel their authentic response. So don't feed into that. Do everything you can to like hold it back. Most of my note cards during falsettos was, don't cry at the bar mitzvah. Don't cry. Stop crying. Stop crying. But he's also the same person that told me, as soon as you have a child, you will forever be tired, but your depth of how you can bring characters to life, there will be a depth and a weight that you will be able to find that you never could had you not, you know, given life.
Yeah, you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's the catch-22, right? Be vulnerable but thick-skinned. Oh, shut up. Just let us live this. Take all your note cards back, James.
I dare you to say that to him, Stephanie. I dare it.
Well, I doubt if he's listening right now, but just in case you are, take it back, James.
So what was it like for you as a young person? Were you just really musical? Were you a musical family? Where did it all come from?
Yeah, I actually am not from a very musical family.
No.
When I think my mom says when I was about 3 years old, I started begging for piano lessons. And she said, okay, if you still want to play when you're 5, I'll let you play. And I did. So I started off as an instrumentalist. I was too shy to get up and sing in front of people, even though I would always sing and like make little tapes on my tape recorder and stuff. I played piano for 7 years, and I played the flute in band. And I went to see the school musical on a whim. I went to see Wizard of Oz, and I thought, oh, that looks like fun. Maybe I'll audition next year. And so when I was in 7th grade, I auditioned for Cinderella, the musical, and I was cast as the 3rd girl. And I had one little solo line. I was so nervous that I would always like kind of whisper it, and I always know that I'm not singing loud enough. But I really enjoyed the process. So I was like, I'm going to take like a voice class. Maybe I'll get a little more confidence. And something just clicked once I started taking voice lessons, and then I was in show choir and performing arts high school, and the rest is history. So,
and always a soprano, always more of a
Yeah.
lyric soprano. Wow.
yeah. When before in college, I was trying to decide if I should do opera or musical theater, and I realized that when I would try to watch opera like on PBS or something, I could never sit through the whole thing. I wasn't like as engaged by it, but if it was anything Broadway, the Tony Awards or whatever, I was like would tape it and watch it over and over, and all those PBS concerts with like Rebecca Luker and all those types of people I loved. So I was like, I think I want to be on Broadway. So that's kind of how I made my decision.
I think I read somewhere that you had moved in, was it junior high school? So you kind of went to a new town and you didn't have a lot of friends. So you just sit in the library and listen to musicals and read all the lyrics.
We actually moved the summer before my sophomore year of high school.
Wow. Oh, that is a formative year. Wow.
Yeah. And I didn't have any friends, and it was summer and school wasn't going to start for like a month. So I went to the library and I would check out CDs of shows. They had these volumes of Sondheim scripts, like Sondheim in the 70s or whatever, and it'd be, Follies, Company, and A Little Night Music. And I would check out the CDs. So I would like read the script and listen to the CD so that's how I got to become such a huge Sondheim fan and get to know his work.
And such a big nerd.
Yeah.
It's the truth.
It is true.
Well, I'm going to test your knowledge.
Okay.
Okay. Are we ready? Are you ready for a quiz, Steph? The two of you, I'm going to quiz you. Here we go.
Oh, I'm not a musical theater nerd. I don't know very much. Okay,
you know what? Maybe she can bail you out. Okay. This is called the hardest musical theater quiz ever made.
Oh,
what?
Wow.
That's literally the title of this?
Literally the title. Okay.
So you're setting us up to fail.
That's right.
Here we go.
I am musical before 2000. I'm good.
Okay.
Okay.
Which Broadway and West End musical has the tagline "Believe" on its poster? Sister Act, The Prince of Egypt, Book of Mormon, or Ghost?
Book of Mormon.
Believe that I believe is a big song in Book of Mormon. Okay, I agree. Book of Mormon.
Ghost.
Sorry, people, it's Ghost.
Ghost.
Oh, it is.
Okay. Which of these waitress pie names is made up? Marshmallow mermaid pie, red, white, and blueberry pie, got my vote rhubarb compote pie, or time to say goodbye?
Got my vote.
I would have said got my vote rhubarb pie as well.
Okay, let's see. Time to say goodbye pie.
Oh.
Well, you guys are really, I don't think you studied those things quite hard enough in high school.
I just want to say, if you know the answers to these, get out. Go see the sun. read a book about I don't know, anything.
World War II.
Anything. Yes.
Okay.
Suffragettes.
Which of these is not the name of a theater booth on Broadway and the West End? Ambassador Theater, Palace Theater.
A theater booth.
It says, which of these is not the name of a theater? Oh, sorry. Both. Hi, dyslexia. Which of these is not the name of a theater both on Broadway and in the West End? Okay, ready?
Okay.
Ambassador Theater, Palace Theater, Lyceum Theater, Lyric Theater.
Palace?
Lyceum.
No, that's incorrect. It's Ambassador.
Oh,
gosh.
Oh my goodness. Which of these
Stop this tragic.
Do you want to do an easy one?
This show.
We can do like a, hey, which Broadway mom are you?
Is that a quiz?
That was a quiz. I had like 4 quizzes and I was like, those would
Nikki,
be too
have you
easy.
played, other than Sarah, have you played a Broadway mama?
On Broadway, Fontaine.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, that's legit. Sure.
Clara in Porgy and Bess.
Okay.
Child.
She's done
Angelica
mamas.
as a child. I mean, it wasn't Broadway, but Angelica has like 7 children. Schuyler.
Yeah, we don't meet them in the course of the play, though. Yeah.
All right. Do you want me to find a new one or let it go?
We're
Let
moving
it
on. Let it
go.
go.
Let
Which
it
one of these
go.
is not a song in Frozen? Let it go. Let's build a snowman, or Mama needs a bacon sandwich. Eh,
Right. Well, you guys really failed that quiz miserably.
Yeah.
I want to know more about your earlier years because when we do homework, the first thing we do, Google engine, and I start reading all the articles and your playbill highlights and your website. But Wikipedia does not have a page on you. Is there a reason as
I
to
noticed
why?
that.
Is that crafted by you or by your representation?
I don't know who does that. I haven't done it, so am I supposed to do it?
That's so interesting.
No, I
I thought
actually
that
think
must
you're
have
not
been
supposed to write your
purposeful.
own Wikipedia page.
No,
Someone,
no.
yeah, someone
Yeah.
not connected to you is supposed to write it, I think.
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
that was interesting to me. And I thought, because usually they have, personal life, early years, all that stuff. So where were you raised?
Well, we kind of moved around growing up. So I was born in Louisville, Kentucky,
Okay.
and we moved. My husband or my father worked for GE, General Electric, and he got transferred to Tennessee. So we moved to Tennessee when I was 5. And then he got a job with Kodak in Rochester, New York. So we moved to Rochester, New York when I was 8 and lived there until we moved to Atlanta my sophomore year when he worked for AT&T. So he was climbing the corporate ladder and we were moving around.
Yeah. Is he an engineer? Your father's an engineer?
Yeah, he was. Yeah,
So
mechanical.
smarty pants. You have smarty pants, parents.
Yeah, like I said, not musical. My mom was tone deaf, like could not carry a tune in a bucket.
Really?
Actually, I did Ancestry.com and found out that I have a whole branch on my mom's side that's like super musical. I had these like uncles who had a gospel group and made albums in the 40s, and a cousin who's like a conductor and stuff, that they're like second and third cousins away.
Did you reach out to any of those family members to try to connect?
Yeah. There's this one lady, Trudy, and she comes to New York sometimes to see me in shows, or if I'm down there. They all live in the Louisiana, Texas area. So if I'm performing like in Houston or something, she'll come. And she's
how special.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really have wanted to do that. My mother did it, found out some interesting things, and I thought, well, if she had found out what she found out, I can't be that far from all of that information. But I wish I knew more about my sort of extended family, the root system of my family tree, and I don't. I should probably go ahead and get that done.
I love
Would
that.
you be an advocate of it?
I would. I'm kind of obsessed with all of that stuff, and with like I got my DNA,
Yeah, me too.
down, what countries and stuff.
Yeah.
Ancestors were from.
What are the countries? What is it?
Mostly West African, and then like Scottish and English.
Oh,
yeah.
Like teensy Native American.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I'm so into that. I love that TV show. Who do you think
Who do you think you are?
Where they really go in depth and deep and they find such a cool show. I would love to do that.
Gates on PBS, Finding Your Roots.
Oh, yes.
Audrey was on there, and Leslie Odom. They've done some Broadway folks on there.
Yeah, I would love to have that done, like really deep, because somewhere in my grandmother's side there was a lot of vaudeville people. One of her uncles was a big vaudeville person, but the name's been lost, to the years.
Yeah.
But I did the DNA thing because there's I had a half brother out there somewhere that was like a big secret for years and years and years. And after my dad passed was when I found out that out there somewhere that, and I did it hoping that he or one of his kids or somebody would connect the DNA, but so far nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah, I would love to find that out. I would love that. Just extend your family by people you didn't even know. I have another friend who found out his dad wasn't his dad.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I bet the bottom dropped out.
I had my dad do it, and he is, in fact, my dad. but
you're like, you're not musical at all, so we're going to take a paternity test because this does not make sense to me.
But I did find a cousin, like a kind of first cousin that we didn't know about that lives in Brooklyn, actually, and I don't have any family up here, so we met and he came to see company, and it was great.
That is great. That is great. But did you meet Jeff while you guys were in New York City?
Yeah, we were in Les Mis. Les Mis was his Broadway debut, and he actually grew up with Tomar Wilson, a good friend of mine.
Sure.
And Tomar and I were doing Lestat at the time when I found out I was doing Les Mis, and he was like, "Oh, my friend Jeff from Kansas just got Les Mis, and he's moving to New York to do it. So you got to like show him the ropes." So I did.
Yeah, you did. Oh my gosh. And now how does that work? I've read in multiple different bits of media that you tout him as being your greatest support. He's always, you guys are lifting each other up, working on things together.
Yeah.
Is that what, was it a friendship thing that drew you to him right away? Sort of just who he was and his integrity and all that? Or was it sort of love at first sight?
Well, yeah, he's actually the first person that I ever dated that we were just friends first. He's a little younger than me. So I wasn't necessarily seeing him as like a romantic interest. I just knew I really liked him. And,
Oh, you were just showing him the ropes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, that cast, we were all really close and good friends, and we would play Texas Hold'em poker in between shows every matinee day, and that's sort of how we got to be friends. And I remember, you know, Ben Crawford, he was just playing the Phantom in Phantom of the Opera. He was in the show with us. And his girlfriend at the time, they were trying to set Jeff up with her sister. And so they were supposed to meet at this like cast party. And once I found out that plan was in motion, I was like, I've got to tell him. I got to stop this before it starts. So I like confessed that I, you know, really liked him and was like, what is this thing between us? Like, can we explore this? And so that's sort of how we got together.
How many shows have you guys done together?
Broadway shows, Just Les Mis, and then Company, where we got to play husband and wife for like 2 weeks.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and he was sort of an emergency COVID understudy. He had auditioned for the show, and around after we opened in December of 21, a bunch of people started getting COVID, and they realized they didn't have enough male coverage, so they just called him and offered him to come in. So he understudied on all but one of the male roles. He learned 10 out of 11 tracks or something.
Gosh, that is a special gift.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Even the temperament to know that your phone could ring at any time and say you're gonna be on for one of these, you know, numerous roles.
Yeah.
That is truly a gift. I don't think I have the constitution, and I've been an understudy, I've been a standby, I've done that, but to know multiple roles and just be ready to jump in at a phone call's notice.
Yeah.
Woo, don't have the constitution.
No. It was a lot. His script, he had markers. He couldn't even use highlighters because he needed more colors.
Oh my
So he had markers. And actually, when our two daughters came to see me go on for Bobbie, we thought they were just coming to see me. And then like an hour before the show, he got called to go on for Paul. So in
that case, who sits with the girls? Who takes care of the girls?
Well, I mean, we had sitters that were with them anyway, but they were coming to the show that day anyway with one of our sitters who's also a friend.
Understood.
So they just got to see both of us in roles in the show instead of just me. So that was neat.
Do you hope for them a musical life?
I do. I mean, I don't need them to be actors or anything like that, but I do love that they're both musical and have an appreciation for it. So that no matter what they do, they'll always have, you know, that gift. Jeff comes from a family of barbershop singers. They do barbershop.
Oh, wow. That's a cool sound.
Yeah.
His grandfather is 94 years old. And he sang with us. We did a Christmas show in Jeff's hometown last winter. And he did a barbershop piece with his dad, his grandfather, and his brother.
Oh, that's so great.
His grandfather can still sing.
That's incredible.
You know, but even just around the Christmas tree, they'll like get out the pitch pipe and like, crack open a book and they'll sing in 4-part harmony. So, you know, just none of them are professional musicians, but they're, you know, they have a love for it and appreciation for it. So that's what I hope for them.
Also, you're up in Harlem.
Yeah.
Have you been there for a long time?
Yeah.
Seb and I lived there for about 7 years. We loved it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we first were married. We lived at like 157th and Broadway, and then we lived at 140th in like Amsterdam. And then right like 2 weeks before everything shut down in 2020, we moved here.
You're kidding.
To 137th and Frederick Douglass. And I love this apartment. It's my dream apartment.
Oh.
Was it hard to raise little kids though, right in the city? Was that hard?
You know, I didn't find it super hard. I mean, just the when they're little and they have to be carried, like the baby carrier aspect in the summer and stuff would be like, ugh. this is hot and uncomfortable. But now that they both, they're both really good walkers. Like we go to Disney and they like walk around all day, no problem. And
Yeah.
I kind of love living in the city, especially because I can come home between shows and you know, getting to school is super easy now, just on the train. And we have plenty of space now. I mean, it's not a house big, but by New York standards, we have like, closets and like storage
Amazing.
and
Right,
stuff.
right.
And we have a car now, so I'm pretty content to
You're a New Yorker through and through.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does your family
Yeah,
look at you and go, oh my gosh, I can't believe she's there. She's doing it. She hit all the heights and she is a New Yorker.
Yeah, I mean, we moved around so much growing up that I've lived here by far longer than I lived anywhere growing up. So it really does feel like home to me. And I think my parents, even we came here when I was 10 to like visit friends or something. And I was like, oh, I love this place. I moved here when I grew up, even before I was singing or anything. So I think I've always been kind of a city person. I don't need a lot of green space necessarily to be happy. So
I love the city too, but I don't think I could have raised my kid in the city. I think it would have just been so stressful for me.
Yeah.
I don't know why that is, but
it definitely has its downsides. They see a lot of things that I certainly didn't see growing up.
Yeah.
Are you having to explain things a little earlier than you would have hoped, or do they not really bring it to your attention for discussion?
No, we definitely discuss lots of things, like seeing unhoused people on the street. They have lots of questions about that. But in a way, I think it makes them their eyes are more open to like the world as it is, and all of the negative aspects as well as the positive aspects.
Yeah.
So
it's reality.
Yeah.
Reality. And, with proximity is understanding, and understanding gives you empathy. And like I said, if the conversations are appropriate for the age, but yet making them attuned to the world, you're raising great people, great humans.
Yeah. So, I was surprised because my older daughter said something about how she's always going to live in New York. And I thought, oh, that's interesting, because whenever we go visit family, I feel like she loves the yards and the trees and like all that stuff. I thought, oh, maybe when she's grown up, she'll want to live somewhere outside of the city, but maybe it's just because that's what she's used to, but we'll see.
Maybe. But there are some, I mean, if you're 10 years old and you're looking around, there's a difference between seeing the noise and perhaps the litter and all of the negative, and seeing the possibility. And that, again, is also a superpower, where you can walk into a place and see what it could be for you, or how you could be for it. That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, the unhoused here in San Fran, it's really something.
San Francisco's, it's unbelievable.
It always has been. Is it worse now than I haven't been in years?
Yeah.
Yes,
I would go there a lot about maybe 12 years ago, and it was amazing. It was wonderful. It was so much to do. You could walk everywhere. And then I went back maybe 7 years ago, and you couldn't, I mean, you couldn't walk down the street. It was everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere. What theater are you all at?
We're at the Curran Theater, which holds so many memories, because that's where we did the pre-Broadway of Wicked. So it's wild to go back and, just be backstage and go, oh, that's where they developed the green on Adina and myself. And, oh, that's where I got to go on as Elfie once, back 20 years ago. And you think, oh, so much life has happened, but you put yourself right back in that space, and the theater still smells the same. The seats still look the same. When you're standing on stage, the point of view looking out into the audience is the same. That you get haunted by all these wild memories. And I am pretty like nostalgic in that way, but I wouldn't say, I know this word is used a lot, but I'm not usually triggered by many things that will, time jump me to a different place and sort of emotional state. That's just not how I'm built. But I will say, being at the Curran it is a complicated and emotional little minefield for me. Yeah.
Isn't that what they say?
In 2005, I think we did Lestat at the Curran. So
I did.
Sure that area.
Yeah.
It's funny. That's what they say. No matter how old you are, when you go back to your mother's house, all of a sudden you have to have peanut butter and jelly with the crust cut off. So
Come
some places,
on. Yeah.
some places just bring you back, and you're
Yes.
exactly who you were when you were there. You know, yeah. When it's
And the
really
current theater
tangible,
has
like
done
tangible.
done that for me. Yeah.
Mhm.
Looking ahead, Nikki, kind of a typical question, but I want to know because, again, following you on social and hearing you sing My White Knight, and you saying that even just 10 years ago, the idea of having a lead character as a Black actor or actress wasn't really on the table. Like, it baffles with my mind that that's so recent, that that's not even a possibility. But now that these possibilities are really coming to fruition, and we are looking at casts and seeing a very beautiful spectrum of what we see in the world now being shown in casts and behind the scenes as well. They're a little slower, but what's the dream?
Oh gosh, I mean, I would love to create something new. I mean, isn't that what everyone wants as an actor?
Yeah.
I feel like I've done a lot of revivals and replacing, which has been great. There's something to be said for being in a room, and I was just doing a reading like a few weeks ago. I don't know if anything will happen with it, but just like on the spot, someone changing the key because it fits my voice better, or you know, or talking about why is the character doing this way? I don't know if that makes sense to me, you know, and like sort of shaping something is just really exciting, and I hope that I can do something like that and have it.
Yeah. Is there a source material that interests you, something that you've read or seen that you were like, or do you want it built from scratch?
Or a composer that you would really want to build something with.
Oh gosh, I mean, I love Adam Gettle.
I knew. Why did I know you were going to say that? Because his music would sit both. You guys would complement each other so beautifully.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know him. I think I've like reached out to him because I recorded "Say It Somehow" from Piazza on my album with Jeff, and I had to like somehow reach out to him and make sure it was fine. But I don't know him. But yeah, I would love to, or Jason Robert Brown, or Michael Musa. They were the big sort of new voices when I was in college. So I've always been huge fans of their work, and yeah, I don't source material wise. I know for a while my husband and I thought it'd be neat to tell the Levings story, Mildred, and you know, the famous Supreme Court case story. Although at this point I'm probably getting a bit old for that.
No, ageless, timeless.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, it's not that I don't care what the source material is, but just the idea of getting in on something like at the beginning of the process and sort of having a say in how the role is shaped to me would be a worthy goal.
Yeah, that is a worthy goal. And I think the older we get, that's more of the goal. I used to just want to be the vessel and highlight my script and show up and do the very best I could. And, you know, however the director saw the vision, I was willing to embody that. And then just like you know, now the goal is sit me at the table. Let's have a conversation about it. I'd love to put in my 2 cents about what my walk in life can add to this piece that you're making. That's, I mean, most of the work, most of the joy, most of the creative fulfillment for me is always in the rehearsal space, you know? And so when your voice is actually being heard and it's being infused in the piece, and then it lives on, there's a beautiful legacy there, knowing that your thoughts and creation went into the building. That's right.
I think that comes with age too. You know, you're more pliable as a woman when you're young, and you know, and you just want to work. And I think we're taught to be pliable when we're little. And I think as we get older, we're sort of like, you know what? I want my opinion, my voice, my thoughts out there, and to be a relevant part of what I'm building. You know, so
well, we have so much practical learning now. We have so much practical knowledge that what we're bringing to the table does have a lot of worth because we can back it up with the receipts.
Yeah.
We've
and
lived this
for
life.
Me, exactly. You know? For me, it's more, I have more confidence now in what I think and say and do because I've been faced with so many more challenges and interesting things that I never thought I'd be faced with. And then you realize that you do have good instincts, or you do have the knowledge somewhere inside of you that you can start trusting yourself more to speak up and say what's on your mind. You know?
Yeah. I think that's right. Because I think we always have the instincts.
Yeah.
I bet we could all look back in our 20s and say, my belly was telling me,
Yeah.
regardless of whether it was an artistic endeavor or life endeavor, my belly was telling me something, but I didn't trust that that voice inside there.
Yeah.
So then it's us as women going, no, I trust that voice now. It has been proven in so many ways that I can actually let the world know that what's inside is at least my truth, you know?
It's really interesting. My mom is, I can't say her age, she'll kill me, but she's, she's up there, and she's really a remarkable older lady. She tango dances once a week. She takes a COVID test and hires a professional tango dance to dance with her for a few hours. She's a docent. She's always learning. She's been on her own since her 40s. My parents got divorced. She was in her 40s. And I said to her, Mom, when you look at the life that you have built since your 40s, what you have accomplished on your own, if you had the options in life that I had, you would be running the museum. You would be a professor of art history. You would have been a professional tango dancer. You could have done so many things, because her generation, you barely even got to go to college in her generation. And so I think now, if the next generation of girls, like if your little girls, Nikki, start to find that voice at 25 instead of 45 or 55, where they sit at a table and go, no, I have something to say, and it is valid, know? So every generation, the women get to take more strength back and have a voice more. At least that's what you hope, Yeah. And what we were talking about with the theater and how it's only until recently that it mattered if you were Black or white to tell a story. I think it's so important that we produce plays that tell the story of being human. And it doesn't matter what color the person is who's on the stage telling it. It shouldn't matter. It should just be the human story. And when we all find each other's humanness, that's when the world starts to be a better place.
Yes. Yeah. I just read, was it this morning? I was looking on something, and there was a clip of a Japanese cast in Japan doing Fiddler on the Roof. And to my eyes and ears, of course, it looked a little foreign. It sounded a little different. The lyrics, the meter of it didn't line up the way I'm used to hearing the score. And in the interview, the Japanese company and artistic director said, does this even work in the United States? Because it was so attuned to their traditions and their understanding of family that they didn't even think it would work in the United States of America. And of course, they were like, no, it was written for and in here, the United States. So that sort of story is so universal. Now, like, you're speaking to the human aspect of it.
Yeah, people said that about Company. Like, can you do it with a female Bobbie? And then you had young women coming to see the show that was like, how is this done with a man?
Done with a man.
Exactly.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Or a beautiful gay couple getting married.
Exactly.
That wouldn't have been told, 10, 15 years ago. And now you see it, and it just warms you going, oh, that's my brother, or that's my best friend, or the sort of, understanding now is so deep to all these new avenues of humanity that we were turning our head away from.
It feels really exciting, especially in a time where there's been so much division, so much us against them. So when you start to see the unification of these things, where you just see each other's humanness, that's, oh God, you just say, oh, please let it keep going in this direction. And I think that's what's so important about the arts.
Yeah. Well, I can see it in my kids, the way that they talk about the world is just in a completely different and more open way than we ever did. Like, if we're talking about a friend of ours and she'll say, oh, do they have a husband or wife? And it's like, they see it as like, oh, if she's a girl, she must have a husband, or if she's, what I mean? And it's like, they're just way of seeing everything is so much, they're just open to like whatever the possibility is, and they go with it.
We'll be right back with the 5 questions, but first a word from our sponsor. All right. So the first question is, you've been arrested. You're thrown in jail. We have to call your husband and tell him to come pick you up. What does he assume that you've done to land yourself in jail?
Stolen a designer bag.
I might be sitting right alongside you in that jail cell. Okay, you can have one superpower. What would it be?
To have my children take my advice.
Ah, listen to mama.
They don't believe me. Not about anything.
Children won't listen.
Even my daughter, she's doing her first musical, and we're like, not trying to direct her at all, just being like, maybe you should take a pencil to verse. And she's like,
Oh, Mom, what do you know? 10 Broadway shows. What do you even think you know?
Okay. In the book of your life, what's this chapter called?
oh gosh, settling into myself.
Ooh, I
Oh, that is
love
good.
that.
Yeah.
Love that.
All right. Are you beach, mountain, desert, or city?
City.
She's city.
City
Yeah.
all the way.
You did say it earlier in the interview, but I thought, look, if I give her a couple more options, maybe she'll choose something else. Nope. City through and through.
Yeah, I can appreciate all of those things, but in the end, I want to be on that plane that you look out and you see the city skyline of Manhattan, and you know you're home.
No, you were meant to be there. All right. If you were a nail polish color, what color would you be, and what would the cheeky little name be?
With nail polish, I always like something that's not too showy, which is, I guess, funny for an actor. Nude sunset.
Oh,
I love it.
Me too, actually.
Thank you so much for coming
Thank you
on
so
and
much.
talking to us and spending time with us. It was a pleasure to get to know you a little more.
Yes, it was great to see you both.
Thank you. And thank you for your grace as we started very roughly this morning.
Oh, no worries. No worries. Well, good luck with the rest of your tour. And
thank you. Love to you and your family as well.
And I'll see you soon, Mary Lee.
I'll see you in a couple weeks. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. How exciting. All right. We stay on and chat about you just a little bit. Have a good day.
Thanks again, Nikki.
Bye.
Bye.
Now, what struck a chord with us?
Oh, that worked out well. I thought for a minute there we weren't going to be able to have you on this interview.
I know. I mean, it was down to the wire. My husband was running around unplugging things, plugging things, switching computers. It's been wild to do this on the road, just even carrying a bag of sound equipment. First of all, trying to get through security. We are stopped every single time because some of the like the mic stand, it looks like a shotgun barrel, truly.
Yeah.
So it's always opened up and we're like, oh, please be gentle. Please be gentle. That's an expensive bag. So we never know quite what we're going to get when we settle into a new hotel. But this was the one that was, yes, the hairiest setup down to the last wire. And there's something about Nikki. Well, as you saw, she comes so prepared. She's settled in. She looks like $1 million.
She's always got it together.
Right.
One of her friends that was in the ragtime concert, they're really, really good friends. And she said to me, God, I love her, but it's so irritating. Like when she got pregnant, I thought, well, maybe now she won't be so perfect. But no, she was perfect. She was all perfect. You wouldn't know she was pregnant from behind. She just had a little belly bump and it was so irritating.
So that I had to go face to face with Nikki Renee, like literally like this, where I'm like, what's happening? I need to at least brush my teeth, which didn't happen, by the way, because we were just running around like mad people. So I'm slightly embarrassed, but you know what?
Stephanie.
When you show up as your authentic self, hey, at least it all came together. I showed up, we stayed the course, and it was a great chat,
Yeah, it was really great. She was great.
Yeah.
So I'm so excited about my tattoo. I love it. And I could easily see that I could be addicted.
You're addicted. Well, you didn't just get one. You got two. You have one on your finger.
No.
Oh, is that
that's
a Sharpie?
Fake one. It's a fake tattoo. It's a fake, like a, stick on, because
is it something you're considering?
Yes. I like them on the hands and on the wrists because to me, it's sort of like jewelry in a way.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. But we've been trying to convince Michael to do it. So when Seb and I went, we're like, come on, Michael, just come get a Peace Corps tattoo on your arm. Cause he was really into Peace Corps and he was like, no. So I got a Peace Corps one made for him. And in the interim, I got like something for Seb and me just for fake ones. So we put on our fake ones.
Wow. Yeah, no, it's easy to become addicted. And now that I have a silly little tattoo, it means a lot to me. But I look around, I'm like, oh my gosh, I would say like half of the population is walking around with some sort of ink on their body. And I never
Everybody's got
really,
them.
I never really paid attention to it
They're
before.
very in fashion. They're very in fashion now.
Well, you better be in fashion because you ain't getting rid of it anytime soon.
I don't want
You know what I mean?
I love mine. I love
We should have
I love
asked
it.
Nikki. Wouldn't that have been a wild surprise? Again, because of the aesthetic
so
of her.
perfect.
It's, oh my gosh. Then she's just like, bam. And she has like this full ink sleeve on her arm.
Skull.
That would have been awesome.
It didn't hurt at all, by the way. Not at all.
Where I got mine, it was tender, but nothing that sent me into.
I had my legs
panic.
waxed and it hurt far worse than the tattoo.
Well, you're Italian, so the pores and the hairs that are coming out of those follicles are no joke.
And there's a lot of hair. So yeah, no.
When Nikki was talking about Audra and what Audra meant to her as she was growing up and seeing herself in this industry, did you have sort of a North Star the way she mentioned Audra?
Well, when I was very young, it was Barbra Streisand.
Yeah,
I mean, Barbra Streisand, when I was 6 years old, the first time I heard somebody sing live and they were singing Barbra Streisand. And I thought, oh my God, like that was the first time it occurred to me that it was something people actually did. It wasn't just on the radio, or on a record. And I was like, you mean that's like a possibility? And I remember saving all my allowance, saving. And I went out and got the Barbra Streisand Superman album and memorized.
Oh, I can picture the cover.
Oh yeah,
like
the little shorts.
Yep, and the curly hair.
Yes, and the S shirt cut up. And I memorized every song, and I could imitate her like perfectly. And she was everything I wanted to be, when I was little. And I would lock myself in my room and just sing for hours and hours and hours, memorizing her music. So I would say it was her. Yeah. And then I did get to meet her, and she was incredibly kind and nice. But I always feel so funny when I meet people in that way. It's not like I'm meeting them to be their new friend. You're just sort of meeting them. And I didn't take a picture, and I didn't ask for an autograph or anything like that, because I just feel silly, like not silly, but strange about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but it was lovely to meet her, and she couldn't have been more gracious and lovely. And, she's Barbra Streisand.
Of course.
What about for you?
Well, similarly, I loved Barbara's sound. I love what she could do for her voice. Funny Girl was, one of the earliest musicals that I was like, I am doing this musical, period. Yeah. But I would listen to Liz Callaway a lot.
Oh, I love her voice.
Oh, her sound is
beautiful
just, it sends me. It's like, it's one of those voices that hits the center of the note every single time. It still can evoke emotion while being musically pristine.
Yep.
And that to me was something. If I could sing, whatever it was, whatever Liz was singing, if I could sing that and reach the notes with such clarity and purity, I'd be like, oh, yeah. Okay, I'm ready.
Oh, I love her voice. Yeah, she's incredible. We should ask her on here. I would love to have her. I bet
she would. Yeah, she's had a beautiful life.
Yes, she has a great career.
Yeah,
and her sister too. Her sister's got this
Anne
gorgeous
Hampton
voice.
Callaway. I'm recording my Christmas album right now as we speak, and there are two pieces that Anne Hampton Callaway wrote that I'm going to put on the album because
nice.
Oh my gosh, as a singer, she's one thing. And then as sort of a musician where she does her cabaret or her jazz acts, and she'll get input from the audience, take their input and literally write a song there on the spot. So that's, awe-inspiring.
So amazing.
And then what she composes is just so beautiful. And maybe it touches me because I am so intimately connected with her sister's voice and their career. I think they have an album called Sibling Rivalry, which is really special. Yeah. So they're both crazy talented.
All right. Well, once again, it was wonderful to sit down and see you, my friend.
You too. Again, I apologize for the frantic nature, but you're used to it by this point.
It's no big deal. It is what it is.
I love you.
Oh, you too.
Bye.
Stages podcast is produced by Mary Lee Fairbanks and Stephanie J. Block. You can find us wherever you listen to your podcasts. Join us on social media pages or sign up for the mailing list at stagespodcast.net. That is also where you will find Stages swag. If you enjoyed this podcast, please share and rate and review the show. It really helps us grow. Big thank you to Noah Kaiserman and Garrett Healy for the original music, and Allison Arns, who has been with us since day one. See you soon.